week. Should be lots of opportunities here. The title of this is Look for Fib Retraces in the majors. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm looking for, some type of rally. I'd love 110. Don't get short in the hole unless you're just looking for day trades. Perhaps we can make a new low. There is no divergence here. Kind of hanging my hat on that euro pound might bottom, although, we could get some retests here. But I don't think you buy the dollar here. Okay, we're putting in a lower high here, although there's divergence. I think that we're in a topping mode that's going to take us back down towards at least 50% back. Could we make a new marginal high? That's possible on some news stop on, but I'm going to stick with that. Yen, glad I took partial profits Friday after this sale. I still think the yen's a sale in here. I'm going to put them back out tomorrow. I still think we could see at least 145, maybe a little deeper. So we have a lot of these formations, right? Look at this wedge. Canada has not made a new high yet. If it does, I still think there's a retrace coming here as well. And I want to show you something in the S&Ps. And if the dollar does cooperate and it comes off, it should be enough to give us one more high in the S&Ps. Okay, so let's go from big picture. And I'm not saying this is going to be a crash. Maybe all we get is a break to 5,700. I do believe there'll be some trees shaking in October. And as you can see on the 4-hour, we peaked here. Pretty clean confirmation on drive 2 under 70. And we're awaiting a drive 3. So at new highs, once we take out these highs, be on the lookout for a 3 drive. So what do? Okay, if you don't like to hear the ice crack like me, I'm just going to sell some at new highs. But if you want to wait for confirmation, that's more your style. What you do is you let it make a new high, right? Make sure the RSI reading is under 70. And then after it makes a new high, you wait for the first red candle, something like this, something like this. And then you go with it and you put the stop maybe 0.5% above the high. Give it some tolerance, let it breathe. But I think this could be the trade this week, looking for a potential third drive. Actually, the NASDAQ, I don't think is going to make a new high. Pointed out its weakness longer term, shorter term, it's weaker as well. So any kind of rally, I think that we could see 19.5, just looking at a daily, 19.3 before we make a run to 22,000. So here it is. All right. Here's your 50-day, 19.7. Maybe we take it all the way down to 19,000. But I am looking for some type of pullback in here. This could also end up being a 3. But before it's over, I'm looking for new all-time highs at 22,000. So let's pay attention to what's happening in yields because it's going to play a role in the yen. And I do believe that the 10-year looks like it wants its 200-day moving average, comes in around 420. Maybe it ticks over it a bit. But for here, I would think that there's going to be at least a pullback in yields. I said that from here wasn't much of a pullback. We're starting off firmer in yields. For it to pull back like to 384 would be analogous to getting a pullback in US dollar yen towards the 145 level, right? So get a pullback like that here and in the 10-year. And you can see one thing so far is the yen has not made a new recovery high, although the 10 years on the verge of it. So same thing looking for a pullback, and then maybe we get one more rally. We'll take it a step at a time. TLT is at pressing the breakout. It's going to open up underneath the breakout. Got an update from Margot. If you saw her last week, she has a time window in here. Talked to another analyst friend of mine. He said this was a 70% retrace. I can't get real bearish bonds for a collapse here. I still think there's going to be another rally. I still think that 10-year could still head uh, much lower after this rally is over. And when you think of it in a bigger picture, 470, 110. So, 55 bips back, gives you, or 61% gives you that 420, 424. I think that's where it ends. And also be aware in the end that there are elections in Japan. But I'm looking at this as in a topping mode. I don't think it's going to do much better than 5120. But see how that paid to take half of even a piece on Friday, and you booked 50 pips, and now instead of being nervous about your position, you're willing to put your shorts back out again that you covered. So this is the big one for me this week, hoping that it manifests. As you can see on the daily, we're in a big 1, 2, 3. But, I would say, maybe a pullback to the 50-day moving average, about 5,700 or so. But this could just be the first of a 3 in here. Okay, pull back, new highs, eventually 6,100. But I think there's a break coming here. And then people could rationalize it by being a shallow break in October, and maybe we rally into the election. The other scenario is that we just have uncertainty into the election, uh, but that's going to be 2 weeks from tomorrow. I don't think this will last that long. So just looking for a short here. As I said before, NASDAQ's weaker. See, it hasn't even taken out this high. So, here you go. Here's a target, 19.7. So, 19.5. So we talked about 700 points. I don't think we're going to get this. And okay, here you go. Newsflash. I was wrong. Gold silver ratio. Obviously, I misinterpreted this as being consolidation and all in one day. So we all know that silver exploded. Um, uh, I missed it. So I can't chase it. I know people talking 35 and a half. I know people talking 2,800 in gold. Again, probably the peak in this happens on the retaliation, which might be delayed because they said that Israel's attack plans were leaked. So they continue on. Copper trying, but doesn't look that great to me. That could be more of a symptom of the economy softening and people still not that bullish about what China has done so far. We're getting a little bounce in crude, so it's possible that some people here are positioning themselves for a retaliation, and it could be a big move. Haven't done anything there yet. If we're making new lows before there's any military action and we're diverging, I would try it there. So I have a great guess. If you're interested in housing, you have to be with me Wednesday at 10:30. I'll be with Melody. She's very sought after by different channels to talk about her bearishness in the housing market. A lot of it has to do with Airbnb, but the recent hurricane also gives her thoughts about, homes not being able to be insured. But she's a bear, and there's really still no signs. So I'm going to talk to her and ask her about why we keep hearing about housing shortages, and she's talking about a major housing decline in the coming year. So if you trade housing stocks, that's also something you're going to probably want to hear Melody on Wednesday. It's Melody Wright. And I'm sure Mike will be with you later. Good hunting the rest of the day. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Let's see if we could get this pullback in the dollar back down towards 102, 101 and a half. Adios.